stolen fire, a cursed woman, a monster who was never truly a monster. 6 stories, 1 civilization, a hero who killed her, a king with 12 impossible tasks, and a journey home that took 20 years. This is the complete Greek mythology collection. 6 legends. Let's begin. Imagine being chained to a mountain forever. Every morning, an eagle tears open your chest and devours your liver. Every night, your body heals completely. And the next morning, it happens again. This is not a horror story. This is what the gods decided was a fair punishment. And the being they punished? He wasn't a villain. He was the one who gave humanity everything. He stole fire from the gods and gave it to us, and they made him pay for eternity. This is the real story of Prometheus, the titan who defied the gods for us. A story told for over 3,000 years, and one that is more relevant today than ever. Before we get to his punishment, we need to understand who he really was. Because Prometheus was not just a rebel, he was the reason you exist. Long before Zeus ruled the heavens, the Titans dominated the universe. Prometheus was one of them, ancient, powerful, and unlike any other Titan. His name means forethought, the ability to see the future before it happens. His brother Epimetheus had the opposite gift. He acted first and thought never. When Zeus overthrew the Titans and took control of the cosmos, Prometheus made a choice. He sided with Zeus, not because he feared him, but because he had seen Zeus would win. After the war, Zeus gave Prometheus and his brother a special task. They were told to create all living creatures on Earth and give each one a gift. Epimetheus gave away all the gifts too quickly. Speed, claws, wings, thick skin. By the time humans were created, there was nothing left to give them. Prometheus looked at these fragile creatures and felt something the gods never did: compassion. And so he made a decision that would change the entire history of the universe. Fire existed only in one place, the divine forge of Hephaestus on Mount Olympus. Zeus had specifically forbidden giving fire to humans. He wanted them weak and dependent. Prometheus climbed Mount Olympus in secret, moving silently through the divine halls. He reached the forge. The sacred flame burned before him, the most powerful fire in existence. He broke off a hollow fennel stalk and placed a single glowing ember inside it. Then he turned and walked away from the most powerful kingdom in the universe. He descended to Earth, to where the humans huddled in the cold darkness. And he lit the first human fire with his own hands. Primitive humans gathered around it, seeing fire for the very first time in their existence. That single ember became cooking, warmth, light, metalworking, civilization itself. Prometheus watched from above as humans began to thrive, and he smiled.
But on Mount Olympus, the light of those human fires had been noticed.
Zeus knew immediately what had happened and who had done it.
The greatest punishment in all of mythology was about to begin. Zeus summoned Hephaestus, the god of the forge, and gave him one command. Go, create chains that cannot be broken by any force in the universe. Then find Prometheus. They seized Prometheus and dragged him to the Caucasus Mountains at the edge of the world. Hephaestus chained him to the bare rock. Wrists, ankles, chest. Immovable. Then Hephaestus left, and Prometheus was alone on a cold mountain for eternity.
The next morning, the eagle came. Zeus's own eagle, enormous, divine, unstoppable. Prometheus screamed. No! Not from fear, but from the injustice of it all.
But as the sun set, something impossible happened. His wounds healed completely, and the next morning, the eagle returned. Day after day, year after year, decade after decade, century after century, millennium after millennium. But Prometheus never begged, never apologized, never broke. Because he knew something Zeus did not. He had seen the future. He knew a hero would come. He just had to wait, no matter how long it took. And thousands of years later, that hero arrived. His name was Hercules, the greatest hero ancient Greece ever produced. He was traveling through the Caucasus Mountains during his famous 12 labors. When he heard the screams echoing from the peak above him, he did not run, he climbed. What he found at the top stopped him in his tracks. A titan, chained, ancient beyond imagination, still alive, still defiant.
Then the eagle returned, circling above, descending for its daily torment.
Hercules did not hesitate. He reached for his bow. The arrow flew, and for the first time in thousands of years, the eagle fell. Silence fell over the mountain for the first time in millennia. Hercules approached the chains, and with his bare hands, he shattered them.
Prometheus stood free. For the first time in thousands of years.
He looked at Hercules, this human-born hero, and nodded. No words were needed. So why did Zeus allow Hercules to free Prometheus after all those centuries?
Some myths say Prometheus held a secret, a prophecy about Zeus's own downfall.
That a son born of a certain goddess would overthrow Zeus, just as Zeus overthrew his own father.
Prometheus told Zeus which goddess to avoid, and in exchange, Zeus agreed to his freedom.
Even in chains, Prometheus had leverage, because knowledge is the ultimate power. But here is what makes the Prometheus story timeless. It is not really about gods at all. It is about the cost of doing what is right, when the most powerful forces tell you not to. Prometheus had the power of foresight. He knew exactly what his punishment would be. He stole the fire anyway, knowingly. willingly, for us. Every time you switch on a light, you are living inside his sacrifice. Every time humanity chooses knowledge over comfort, we are following his example. The gods wanted us ignorant. Prometheus chose otherwise, and the world was never the same. The myths of the ancient world are not dead stories. They are mirrors. Prometheus paid for his crime. But Zeus had another target in mind, all of humanity itself. Coming up next.
One woman was given a box. One rule, never open it. She opened it anyway. Everything changed forever.
Zeus didn't create her out of love. He created her as revenge for a crime his own brother committed. This story begins where our Prometheus video ended, with a titan chained and a furious king planning payback. Every single god on Olympus gave her a gift. Not one of them told her what she truly carried. After Prometheus stole fire for humanity, Zeus vowed a punishment far crueler than chains alone.
Humanity had fire now. Zeus decided they needed something else too. Something that looked like a gift.
He commanded Hephaestus, the master craftsman, to shape a woman from clay and water, the very first. From lifeless clay, a breathtakingly beautiful woman slowly opened her eyes for the very first time. Zeus named her Pandora, all gifted. It sounded beautiful. It was actually a warning nobody understood. Then, one by one, the gods of Olympus arrived to give her their own personal, carefully chosen gifts.
Aphrodite gave her irresistible beauty. Athena gave her skill in weaving. Apollo gave her a gift for music.
But Hermes gave her something far more dangerous: cunning, persuasion, and an endlessly curious mind.
Every gift she received made her more perfect. And every gift was carefully chosen for one hidden purpose.
He knew human curiosity better than any mortal ever could. The warning itself was the true trap.
Hermes then delivered her down to earth to Epimetheus, Prometheus's own trusting, unsuspecting brother. Prometheus had warned his brother countless times, never accept any gift from the gods. Ever. But when Epimetheus saw Pandora, every warning he had ever heard simply vanished from his mind. He welcomed her immediately into his home, completely unaware of what she secretly carried with her. For a time, Pandora lived peacefully. The jar sat sealed in a corner, mostly forgotten, mostly ignored.
But every single day, Pandora found herself glancing at it. The curiosity Hermes gave her never faded. She began to wonder, what could possibly be so dangerous that it needed to remain sealed forever?
Some versions say Epimetheus himself grew curious too, and encouraged her to finally look inside. One quiet afternoon, alone with her thoughts, Pandora finally reached for the ancient wax seal.
Her hands trembled. Every warning she had ever heard echoed in her mind. She opened it anyway.
In that single instant, everything the world had ever known changed forever, all at once. Sickness escaped first, spreading outward like an invisible fog across the once peaceful world. Then sorrow, then old age, then endless labor and struggle, all released into the world at once. Death itself, until this moment unknown to mortals, entered the world through that single, opened jar.
Terrified, Pandora desperately slammed the heavy lid shut, trying to stop what could never be stopped.
But it was already far too late. Nearly everything inside had already escaped into the world. Only one single thing remained trapped inside the jar, caught right at the very rim as she closed it.
That single remaining spirit was Elpis. Hope, hope itself, the only thing that never escaped into the world. For thousands of years, scholars have debated one single question. Was trapping hope a blessing or a curse?
Prometheus rushed in, seeing the devastation, finally understanding every single warning his brother gave.
Outside their home, the world had already begun to change. Suffering had entered human existence forever. Zeus watched from Olympus, his elaborate revenge finally, completely, permanently fulfilled. Before Pandora, the myths say humans lived in a golden age. No sickness, no suffering, no death. Pandora's single choice ended that golden age forever, ushering humanity into a far harder existence.
For centuries, Pandora has been unfairly blamed as the villain who ruined humanity's perfect existence. But she never built the jar. She never sealed the evils inside it. She was simply given an impossible choice.
Ask yourself honestly, could you have resisted opening it, knowing every human being eventually would? Zeus designed the entire trap around one universal truth, that curiosity always eventually wins. It was never really about Pandora at all. It was about human nature itself, tested and proven right. Prometheus gave humanity fire and knowledge. Pandora's story gave humanity struggle and mortality.
Two Titan brothers. Two different mistakes. One shared, permanent consequence for all of humanity.
Yet within the very same story, something profound was left behind, hope itself still remaining. Some scholars believe trapping hope inside was itself the cruelest part of the entire punishment. Others believe the opposite, that hope remaining sealed and safe meant it could never be lost or used up. Perhaps that is the true genius of this 3,000-year-old myth. It refuses to give a simple answer.
Pandora lived the remainder of her long life, carrying the weight of a choice she never fully understood. She and Prometheus eventually had a daughter, Pyra, who would go on to survive humanity's next great trial. That daughter would later survive a great flood sent by Zeus, connecting this myth to an even greater one.
The phrase, opening Pandora's box, has survived 3,000 years, still used constantly today. Interestingly, the original Greek word actually meant jar, not box. A mistranslation changed history forever. A 16th century scholar translated pithos as pixis, the Latin word for box. The name stuck forever.
This myth remains one of the earliest recorded explanations for why suffering exists in the world at all. Nearly every ancient culture has a similar myth, a moment when innocence was lost through one choice.
Perhaps humanity needs these stories, a way to explain suffering without it feeling completely random.
Modern retellings often reframe Pandora entirely, not as a villain, but as humanity's very first scientist.
Every act of human discovery carries this same risk. Knowledge that cannot ever be unlearned once gained. Fire from Prometheus, suffering from Pandora. Together, they explain the entire human condition in Greek myth.
If you have watched our Prometheus video, you now understand the complete cost of that stolen fire.
Hope remained. That detail is often forgotten, but it may be the single most important part of the entire myth. Every hardship humanity has ever faced since that day has been survived alongside that same enduring hope. So the next time you hear, "Don't open Pandora's box," remember what was actually left behind inside it.
This was Pandora, not a villain, not a fool, simply the first human being to ever be truly, fully human.
Two Titan brothers, one stolen fire, one opened jar. This is how the Greeks explained the entire world. This was Pandora's box, the myth that started everything humanity has ever struggled with since. Pyratheon has now told the complete cost of Prometheus's fire, from the theft to its final consequence. One jar, one choice, and the entire human condition explained in a single ancient story. Suffering entered the world that day, but so did hope. Both remain with us still. Pandora's curse changed humanity forever. But the gods weren't finished punishing the innocent. Coming up next. You have been told Medusa was a monster. You were lied to. This is what actually happened.
Medusa was not born a monster. She was the most beautiful woman in all of ancient Greece. She was a devoted priestess in Athena's sacred temple, sworn to purity and service.
Then a god noticed her, and everything she had built her life around was taken from her. What happened next was a crime, and the gods punished the wrong person for it.
Medusa's story is not about a monster. It is about a victim blamed for surviving.
3,000 years ago, the Greeks told this story. And for 3,000 years, we have misunderstood it. Today, Pyratheon tells the complete story of Medusa, the one hidden in plain sight. Who was Medusa before the curse? Why did Athena punish her? Was Perseus a hero or a weapon?
All of these questions answered, starting right now, with the girl who became the monster they needed.
Medusa was one of 3 Gorgon sisters, but she alone was born mortal, not divine. Her sisters Stheno and Euryale were immortal. Medusa could suffer. Medusa could die. Despite her mortality, or perhaps because of it, she chose to dedicate her life to Athena's temple. She took the sacred vows of Athena's priesthood: chastity, service, devotion.
Her beauty was spoken of across all of Greece. Men traveled far just to see her.
But Medusa paid no attention to any of them. The temple was her world, Athena her goddess.
Then one day,
Poseidon saw her, the god of the ocean, the second most powerful god on Olympus. Poseidon entered Athena's sacred temple, a place no god of the sea had any right to enter. What happened in that temple that day? The original Greek sources are clear about this.
Poseidon violated Athena's temple. He violated Medusa within it. She did nothing wrong.
Medusa cried out to Athena for protection. Athena heard her, and then Athena made a terrible choice.
Athena could not punish Poseidon. He was too powerful. So she punished Medusa instead. Athena descended to the temple, not to comfort Medusa, not to avenge her, to punish her.
Athena's reasoning, her temple had been desecrated. Someone had to be punished. Poseidon was untouchable.
Athena stretched out her hand, and the curse began. Medusa's beautiful hair began to move. Her warm, dark eyes began to glow with a light she could not control, could not stop. Her gaze now turned anyone who looked at her directly into stone, a prison she could never escape. Medusa transformed. She could not look at another person, could not be seen, completely alone. She fled to the edge of the world, to a desolate island at the ends of the earth. Alone. Her two immortal sisters followed her into exile. They chose isolation over abandoning their cursed sister. Years passed, then decades. Medusa lived in her cave, isolated, grieving. Some versions of the myth say she spent her time weeping. Others say she spent it creating. The garden of stone statues around her cave grew, not from malice, from accidents of isolation. She was not a predator. She was a prisoner, in a body the gods gave her as punishment. Every night she slept, every dawn she woke, still alone, still cursed, still innocent of everything.
Then King Polydectes of Seriphos decided to use an ambitious young hero to solve his problem. Perseus was young, brave, and eager to prove himself. The king gave him an impossible task: kill Medusa.
The gods equipped Perseus for this mission. Hermes gave winged sandals. Hades gave a helm of invisibility.
Athena herself gave Perseus a mirrored shield, so he would never need to look at Medusa directly.
Consider this. Athena cursed Medusa. Athena then armed the man sent to kill her. Think about that.
Perseus flew across the ancient world on his winged sandals, toward the island at the ends of the earth. He found the island, the cave, the garden of stone statues surrounding it. Perseus used only the mirror of his shield. He never looked at her directly. He was careful.
In the reflection he saw her, sleeping, even in sleep, even cursed, she looked peaceful.
Perseus completed his mission. Medusa's head was taken. Her sister's screams of grief echoed across the island.
But from Medusa's blood, something the myths did not expect. Two beings sprang into existence.
Pegasus, the winged horse of the gods, was Medusa's son, born the moment she died, pure beauty.
Medusa, the cursed, the isolated, the innocent, gave the world its most beautiful creature.
Perseus used Medusa's severed head as a weapon. He turned enemies to stone with it.
Even in death, Medusa's power was used by others. She had no choice in life or death.
Now let us look at what the myth of Medusa is actually telling us.
Medusa was not the villain. She was the victim of a system that protected the powerful. Poseidon faced no consequences. Athena faced no consequences. Medusa paid with her life and her humanity. This is why Medusa has become a symbol.
For millions of people who have been wrongly blamed, her image appears on feminist movements worldwide, on protest signs, on artwork, on jewelry, because her story resonates across time. Every era produces people punished.
The ancient Greeks included this story in their mythology for a reason. They were asking a question. When power harms the innocent and blames them, is that justice? Is that a system worth defending?
Medusa stares at us across 3,000 years, and she dares us to finally tell her story correctly. She was a priestess, then a victim, then a prisoner, then a symbol, never a monster. The monster is not the woman with serpents for hair. The monster is the system that created her.
Ovid understood this in 8 AD. We are still arguing about it now. Some stories never age.
What would Medusa's life have been without Poseidon? A devoted priestess, a beautiful life of service. Instead, she got exile, transformation, isolation, and death at the hands of a stranger sent by a goddess. Her only legacy? Pegasus flying free above the world, born from her blood, free in her name. The next time someone tells you Medusa was a monster, you know what to say. She was a priestess who kept her vows, a woman wronged by power, and a mother of beauty.
Greek mythology is full of these hidden stories. Heroes who were villains, monsters who were victims.
Medusa was not a monster. She was the most human figure in all of Greek mythology.
She was innocent. She was wronged. She deserved better. And now you know.
Medusa's story ended in tragedy, but it was about to begin again, through the eyes of the man sent to kill her. Coming up next. One look from her turned men to stone forever. He had to kill her without ever seeing her eyes.
Medusa, the monster he was sent to kill. But she was never the villain of this story.
A cruel king sent him on this quest, hoping Perseus would never return alive from it.
Only the gods themselves gave him any real chance of survival.
Even then, it should have been impossible.
King Polydectes wanted Perseus's mother for himself. The son was simply in the way.
The king devised a trap. He announced a feast requiring an impossible gift from every guest. Young and prideful, Perseus boasted he would bring the head of Medusa herself. The king smiled coldly. He had just promised to do the impossible. No mortal had ever looked at Medusa and lived.
Desperate and alone, he prayed to the gods for help. Two of them actually answered,
Please,
"Save my people."
stand up, son of Zeus. You are not alone.
Athena and Hermes appeared together, offering the gifts that would make his impossible task possible.
Athena gave him a mirrored bronze shield, the key to defeating Medusa. Without ever looking at her directly,
Hermes gave him winged sandals that could carry him faster than any bird across the sky.
He still needed to find the Graeae, 3 ancient sisters who shared a single eye between them.
Perseus cleverly stole their shared eye mid-pass, forcing them to reveal where the Gorgons lived.
He also received a magical pouch and Hades's helmet of invisibility from helpful nymphs. Fully equipped, Perseus flew across the world toward the edge of existence, where the Gorgons lived.
Medusa had two immortal sisters, Stheno and Euryale, even more monstrous and dangerous than her. Wearing the helmet of invisibility, Perseus slipped silently past them into the cave beyond. Deep inside, surrounded by stone statues of the dead, he finally found what he had been sent to kill.
But what Perseus found sleeping there was not the monster he expected to see at all.
Perseus remembered her story, a priestess once punished cruelly for a crime that was never her fault.
But her sisters could wake at any moment. He had no choice but to act, using only his shield's reflection.
From her blood, a winged horse named Pegasus was born, instantly. A final gift from her tragic life. Her sisters woke, screaming in fury. Perseus fled instantly, invisible, clutching his impossible prize.
He carried Medusa's head in the magical pouch, still dangerous, still able to turn men to stone.
Flying home across the world, Perseus passed over kingdom after kingdom, exhausted but triumphant.
He spotted a chained princess about to be sacrificed to a sea monster and immediately dove to help.
He used the very weapon he was trying to avoid, showing the sea monster Medusa's head directly.
The monster turned to stone instantly. Medusa's curse, even in death, had just saved an innocent life.
Andromeda's grateful family welcomed him, and he fell instantly in love with the princess he saved. They married soon after.
An unexpected love story, born from an impossible, terrifying quest.
With his quest complete, Perseus finally returned home to confront the king who sent him to die. King Polydectes laughed. He was certain Perseus had failed and died somewhere on his impossible quest. Perseus walked in holding his impossible prize. The entire royal court fell into stunned silence.
Furious, the king demanded proof. Perseus gave him exactly what he asked for, one final look.
King Polydectes turned to solid stone instantly, his own cruelty finally, permanently punished.
The relieved kingdom celebrated. Perseus's mother was finally, truly safe from the cruel king forever.
Perseus returned all his borrowed divine gifts. The sandals, the helmet, the shield, the pouch.
He gave Medusa's head to Athena, who mounted it permanently onto her own sacred shield, forever.
Medusa's face became the Aegis, Athena's shield, forever protecting the goddess of wisdom herself. In death, Medusa became more powerful and more honored than she had ever been while cursed and alive.
But an old prophecy still followed Perseus, one his own grandfather had desperately tried to prevent.
Years before his birth, an oracle had warned King Acrisius his own grandson would one day kill him.
Terrified, Acrisius locked his own daughter away, trying desperately to prevent her from ever having children.
Zeus found her anyway. Perseus was born despite every precaution the frightened king had taken. Acrisius set both mother and infant adrift at sea in a wooden chest, hoping the ocean would finish it.
They survived, washing ashore on a distant island, where a kind fisherman raised Perseus as his own.
Years later, Perseus attended athletic games, having no idea his own grandfather watched from the crowd. During competition, a discus veered wildly off course. Nobody in that crowd expected what happened next.
The discus struck his own grandfather, King Acrisius, by pure and terrible accident. The prophecy fulfilled itself. Perseus never knew that man was his grandfather until it was already far too late to change anything.
No sword, no shield, no divine gift could have prevented what fate had decided long before his birth. Perseus's story is really two intertwined stories: a hero's impossible quest and fate's inescapable plan. He is often called the first true Greek superhero. Divine parentage, impossible quest, tragic irony. His story established the entire template. Later heroes would follow: Hercules, Theseus, and beyond. His constellation still hangs in the night sky today, beside Andromeda, Pegasus, and Cassiopeia. Even today, a meteor shower each August is named the Perseids, falling stars named for this very hero.
Modern retellings often frame Medusa as the true victim, and Perseus's story as more complicated than heroic.
Perseus himself seemed to understand this. He never boasted about killing her, only about saving Andromeda.
He went on to found the city of Mycenae, one of the most powerful kingdoms in all of ancient Greece. He and Andromeda ruled together for decades, their descendants becoming legendary heroes themselves. One of his descendants would be Hercules himself, connecting these two legendary heroes by blood.
His true lesson was never about killing a monster. It was about choosing mercy, even under impossible pressure. He never once looked directly at the thing he feared. He faced it through reflection, through wisdom instead.
Perhaps that is the real reason his story survived nearly 3,000 years. The wisdom, not the sword. Two tragic figures, one impossible quest, and a shield that turned both their stories into something eternal. If you have watched our Medusa video, you now know both halves of this tragic, unforgettable story. This was Perseus, the hero who killed a monster and discovered she was never truly the monster at all.
Pyratheon has now told both sides of one of Greek mythology's most tragic and complex stories. A hero forced into an impossible choice. A monster who was never truly a monster. Both remembered forever. Wisdom over brute force. Mercy under pressure. That was Perseus's true legend.
Perseus proved one hero could defeat the impossible. Generations later, his own bloodline would be tested 12 times over. Coming up next.
12 tasks, each one designed to kill him. He completed every single one. This is how.
Hera, queen of the gods, hated Hercules from the moment he was born. And she never stopped. The Nemean lion, its golden fur could not be pierced by any weapon ever forged. Hercules had to strangle it with his bare hands.
She drove him to madness. In that madness, he made a mistake he could never undo.
To atone, he sought the Oracle of Delphi.
she gave him his sentence: 12 impossible labors. He would serve King Eurystheus for 12 years, completing whatever impossible task the king demanded, no matter what. Each labor was designed by Hera herself, each one meant to be his death.
He completed all 12, not through strength alone, but through intelligence, patience, and refusal to quit.
This is Pyratheon, and this is the complete story of the greatest hero in Greek mythology. Before the labors, you need to understand who Hercules truly was: son of Zeus, target of Hera.
His strength was unmatched by any mortal. His curse was being born into a war between gods.
Labor 1. Kill the Nemean lion, a beast whose hide no weapon could pierce. Impossible already.
Arrows bounced off its skin. Swords could not cut it. Hercules realized he needed a different approach.
He cornered the lion in its own cave and used his bare hands and strength instead. I will end this threat.
After his victory, he wore the lion's own impenetrable hide as armor. The first labor complete.
Labor 2, the Hydra, a 9-headed serpent. Cut one head off, 2 grow back.
A regular fight was unwinnable. Hercules needed his nephew Iolaus, and a brilliant idea involving fire.
Each time a head fell, fire sealed the wound before new heads could grow.
The second labor taught him something crucial. Brute force alone never wins. Strategy always matters more.
Labor 3. Capture the golden hind, a deer so fast no one had ever caught it.
This labor could not be solved with strength. Hercules had to pursue the deer for an entire year.
He never gave up. Eventually, the deer simply grew too tired to run further.
He carried her gently back to Mycenae, then released her unharmed. Patience was his true weapon. Labor 4. Capture the Erymanthian boar, a massive beast that terrorized an entire mountain region. Hercules used the deep mountain snow to his advantage. He chased the boar into a snowdrift. Trapped and exhausted in the deep snow, the boar could finally be captured alive.
He delivered the live boar to King Eurystheus. The terrified king hid inside a giant jar.
"Here is your prize, your majesty."
This became a recurring joke in ancient Greek art. The king too afraid to face Hercules directly.
4 labors complete, 8 remained, each one stranger and more impossible than the last.
Labor 5. Clean the Augean stables in a single day. 30 years of filth. Impossible by hand.
Hercules did not pick up a shovel. Instead, he diverted 2 entire rivers through the stables.
The rushing water cleaned the stables completely in hours. Engineering genius solved what strength. Labor 6. Defeat the Stymphalian birds. Man-eating birds with bronze feathers like blades.
Athena gave him bronze rattles called crotala. Their sound would do what weapons could not.
The deafening noise startled the birds into flight, scattering them away from the marsh forever.
Labor 7. Capture the Cretan bull, a massive bull that breathed fire and terrorized an island.
Hercules wrestled the massive bull into submission, using pure strength and relentless, persistent grip.
He carried the bull across the sea on his shoulders, delivering it alive to Eurystheus.
Labor 8. Capture the mares of Diomedes, horses that fed on human flesh. The horses were violent because of how they were raised. Hercules understood this was not their fault. With patience and careful handling, the wild mares became calm and were tamed completely.
8 labors complete. Hercules had grown wiser with each impossible task. 4 labors remained.
Labor 9. Retrieve the girdle of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. A diplomatic mission, not a battle.
Hippolyta admired Hercules' strength and reputation. She agreed to give him her girdle willingly, without conflict.
But Hera, disguised, spread a rumor that turned the peaceful exchange into chaos and misunderstanding.
Despite the chaos that followed, Hercules secured the girdle and departed peacefully with his prize. 9 labors complete. Even Hera's interference could not stop him. 3 impossible tasks still remained.
Labor 10. Steal the cattle of Geryon, a 3-bodied giant who guarded them fiercely.
Hercules traveled to the edge of the known world, crossing the ocean, using a golden cup.
He successfully herded the magnificent red cattle, driving them across the entire length of Europe.
Labor 11. Steal the golden apples of the Hesperides. Guarded by a 100-headed dragon, instead of fighting the dragon, Hercules sought out Atlas, the Titan who held up the sky.
Hercules offered to hold the sky temporarily, if Atlas would retrieve the apples for him.
When Atlas returned with the apples, he tried to leave Hercules holding the sky forever.
Hercules outsmarted him. He asked Atlas to hold the sky briefly while he adjusted his cloak comfortably.
The moment Atlas took the sky back, Hercules walked away with the golden apples fulls permanently. 11 labors complete. Only 1 remained. And it was the most terrifying of all.
Labor 12. Capture Cerberus, the 3-headed guardian of the underworld. Bring him back alive.
Hercules descended into the underworld itself. He approached Hades directly and asked for permission respectfully.
Hades agreed, on one condition. Hercules could use no weapons, only his bare hands.
Using only his immense strength, he subdued the 3-headed beast and carried him to the surface. He brought Cerberus to King Eurystheus.
Take him away! I beg you, take him back!
Eurystheus was so terrified by the sight,
12 labors complete, 12 impossible tasks, 12 years of service. Hercules had finally earned.
Looking back across all 12 labors, a pattern emerges that most people completely miss.
Only the first few labors were won through pure strength. Every labor after that required intelligence.
Diverting rivers, using rattles, outsmarting a titan, Hercules grew wiser with every single labor. This is why the myth has survived 3,000 years. It is about growth, not just strength. Hercules began his journey trying to atone for a tragedy. He ended it as a transformed man. Every impossible task you face in life is also a labor. The question is what it teaches you. Eurystheus thought he was sending Hercules to die 12 times. Instead, he built a legend.
Hercules became a god after death. The mortal who endured the impossible earned true immortality.
12 labors. 1 transformed man. A legend that has never been forgotten.
Hercules proved a hero could survive 12 impossible labors. But one hero's journey was about to test something far harder than strength, simply getting home. Coming up next. He was gone for 20 years. His own kingdom forgot him. His own wife was being forced to remarry. He came back anyway.
To get home, he had to blind a giant, escape a witch, resist immortality, and fight a god. Every single obstacle.
While he fought monsters and gods, she fought alone at home. She is the real hero of this story.
One god decided he would never reach home. The god of every ocean on earth. This is what Odysseus survived. Odysseus was not the strongest Greek hero. He was the cleverest,
and cleverness kept him alive. Today, Pyratheon tells the complete, true story of Odysseus. Every island, every monster, every choice. At home in Ithaca, his wife Penelope waited. His son Telemachus grew up without a father. 100 suitors had invaded his palace, consuming his wealth and competing to marry his wife.
Penelope's trick. She told the suitors she would choose when she finished weaving a funeral shroud.
Every night she secretly unraveled what she wove each day, for 3 years, until they discovered her.
The Trojan War lasted 10 years. The Greeks could not breach Troy's walls. Until Odysseus had an idea. The Trojan horse, Odysseus's greatest deception. A giant wooden horse filled with Greek soldiers. Hidden inside, the Trojans brought it inside their walls, believing it was a gift. It was not. Troy fell that night. The 10-year war ended in a single evening because of one man's plan.
But Odysseus made a fatal error in his moment of triumph. He angered Poseidon, god of the ocean.
Odysseus boasted that he needed no god's help to win. That arrogance would cost him 10 years. His fleet of 12 ships set sail from Troy toward home. They would never arrive together.
Athena, goddess of wisdom, became Odysseus's divine protector and guide throughout his entire journey home.
Poseidon versus Athena, two divine forces pulling Odysseus toward doom and toward home simultaneously.
The Odyssey of Odysseus. 10 years, 12 islands, one impossible goal: getting home alive. The island of the Cyclopes. Odysseus and his men entered a massive cave seeking food and shelter. Polyphemus, the Cyclops, returned. The one-eyed giant sealed them inside the cave, with a boulder. Odysseus could not overpower the Cyclops. He had to outsmart him instead. He devised a brilliant plan. He told the Cyclops his name was Nobody, then gave him strong wine until he fell asleep. While Polyphemus slept, Odysseus blinded him with a sharpened wooden stake. The plan worked perfectly. When Polyphemus screamed and other Cyclopes asked who hurt him,
"Nobody! Nobody is hurting me!"
they went back to sleep. Odysseus and his men escaped by hiding beneath the belly of the Cyclops' sheep. Genius. But once safely at sea, Odysseus shouted his real name.
"I am Odysseus!"
Back to the blinded Cyclops. Fatal mistake.
Polyphemus was Poseidon's son. He prayed to his father to curse Odysseus forever. Poseidon answered.
From that moment forward, every ocean Odysseus sailed would become his enemy. Poseidon would never forgive him.
Next stop, the island of Aeolus. The god of winds gave Odysseus a bag containing all the winds. Ithaca was visible on the horizon. They were almost home. Then his men opened the bag of winds.
All winds burst free simultaneously. The resulting storm drove Odysseus far away from home, back to the beginning. For the second time, I watch my home fade away. Beaten by storms, driven back into the endless dark.
The lesson of the bag of winds. Odysseus's greatest enemy was not monsters.
It was his own men.
Again and again, Odysseus's men made choices that cost them everything. He alone survived to tell the story.
The island of Circe, a powerful sorceress who could transform men into animals with a single touch.
She transformed Odysseus's men into pigs. But Odysseus had been given a protective herb by Hermes.
Odysseus resisted Circe's magic.
She was so impressed by his resistance that she became his ally instead. Circe restored his men and became his guide. She told him he must visit the underworld first.
Odysseus descended into the underworld, becoming one of the very few mortals to enter and return.
Odysseus, you sweet homecoming, but a god will make it bitter.
Tiresias told him, "You will reach home, but alone. Do not touch the cattle of the sun god."
He also met his own mother's ghost there. She had died of grief, waiting for him to return.
He could not hold her. Ghosts cannot be embraced. He wept in the underworld for his mother. Next, the sirens, half woman, half bird creatures. Their singing drove sailors to steer into the rocks.
Odysseus wanted to hear their song, the only mortal who ever did and survived. His solution was brilliant.
He filled his men's ears with beeswax so they could not hear. He alone listened. Tied to the mast,
He heard the most beautiful sound in existence. His ship sailed safely past. The sirens fell silent.
Scylla and Charybdis, a six-headed sea monster on one side, a deadly whirlpool on the other.
Odysseus chose Scylla over Charybdis. Losing 6 men was better than losing every man to the whirlpool.
The hardest leadership decisions are not between good and evil. They are between bad and worse. The island of Helios. Despite Tiresias's warning, his starving men ate the sacred cattle of the sun god. Zeus punished them immediately. A thunderbolt destroyed their ship. Every man drowned. Odysseus alone survived. Tiresias had told him, "You will reach home, but alone." Every word of the prophecy came true. He drifted to the island of Calypso, a beautiful nymph who fell in love with him and refused to let him go. Calypso offered him immortality if he stayed. He refused. He chose mortality and home over eternal paradise.
After 7 years on Ogygia, Athena convinced Zeus to order Calypso to release Odysseus finally.
Odysseus built a raft with his own hands and sailed from Ogygia. 20 days at sea, alone. He arrived in Ithaca disguised as a beggar. 20 years gone. His own dogs barely recognized him. His old hunting dog Argos recognized him immediately. The dog wagged his tail, then died peacefully. Odysseus revealed himself to his son Telemachus. They planned together.
"We must when they least expect it. I will stand by you, father."
And so the alliance was formed.
Penelope set a contest. Whoever could string Odysseus's great bow and shoot through 12 axe handles could marry her.
Not one suitor could even string the bow. The disguised Odysseus stepped forward and strung it effortlessly.
He shot through all 12 axe handles perfectly. Then he threw off his disguise. he was home.
He reclaimed his palace, his throne, his wife, and his son. 20 years, never gave up.
The Odyssey is the oldest road trip story ever told, and it is still the best. Every monster Odysseus faced represented something real: Cyclops, arrogance; sirens, temptation; Circe, seduction. The real lesson of the Odyssey: home is not a place. It is a purpose you never stop fighting for.
Homer wrote the Odyssey 2,800 years ago. Every person who has ever felt lost still finds themselves in it.
Odysseus got home. It took 20 years. He never stopped. Neither should you.
Explore more civilization videos.
A monkey king who rebelled against heaven. A king who fought a serpent every single night. A friendship older than history itself. 6 legends. 1 civilization. But Greek mythology is only one piece of the world Pyratheon has brought to life.
Every civilization, every legend, every Tuesday and Friday. Subscribe to Pyratheon and never miss a myth.
Pyratheon exists to find these hidden stories and to tell them the way they were always meant. The divine fire keeps burning. Every Tuesday, every Friday, Pyratheon.